Recent research reveals that many adults over 60 lose muscle not only from aging, but from silent nutrition gaps that keep nightly repair from happening well. Research shows sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, affects about 5 to 13% of adults over 60, and the number can reach 11 to 50% after 80. Ever wondered why your legs feel weaker even when you try to eat well and stay active? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will know the 2 vitamins most strongly linked to better overnight muscle repair support, what habits may block them, and how to use them safely. Comment below with the first place you notice weakness most, your legs, your hands, or your balance. I will be replying to each one. Muscle is like a savings account for independence. When that account shrinks, simple tasks start to cost more. Getting out of a chair feels slower. Carrying groceries feels heavier. Climbing stairs feels like work you never signed up for. Research shows older adults with sarcopenia face a higher risk of falls, fractures, and loss of independence. Here's what happens when your body cannot repair muscle well at night. You break down a little during the day, but you do not fully rebuild while you sleep. That gap adds up. Week by week, you may feel more tired, less steady, and less confident. But here's the shocking part most seniors do not know. The problem often builds quietly for years before anyone names it. Your body does much of its repair work during deep sleep. That is when growth hormone pulses rise, tissues recover, and muscle protein synthesis, which means building new muscle protein, keeps working. Yet those repair crews still need raw materials and clear signals. If protein is too low, if sleep is poor, or if key nutrients are missing, the job slows down. Research shows nearly 20% of middle-aged and older adults in the United States have vitamin D deficiency, usually defined as blood levels under 50 nanomoles per liter. Studies also show older adults face a higher risk of vitamin B12 deficiency because stomach acid and a protein called intrinsic factor often decline with age. Now, this is important. That does not mean 2 pills magically build muscle in one night. It means the right nutrients can support the nighttime repair window your body already uses. Another early clue shows up in your pace. If you walk slower, hesitate before stairs, or avoid carrying bags, pay attention. Studies found gait speed, which means walking speed, often predicts future trouble better than people expect. Now this is important. Slow change still counts as real change. Comment morning stiffness if your first 10 steps feel harder than the rest of your day. Let me tell you about Martha. She is 72, and she first noticed trouble when she started pushing herself up from her sofa with both hands. At first, she blamed a busy week and poor sleep. Then the weakness spread into her morning routine. Within months, Martha stopped taking her evening walks because her thighs felt heavy. She tried drinking more coffee and eating less, hoping to feel lighter. Instead, she lost more strength. Carrying laundry upstairs made her breathless, and she felt embarrassed asking her daughter for help. Emotionally, that hit hard. During a checkup, her clinician found low vitamin D and poor protein intake. Martha felt skeptical because she thought vitamins were only for bones. Still, she agreed to follow a plan. She added a protein-rich dinner, began gentle chair squats, and used vitamin D under medical guidance. Within 6 weeks, Martha stood up more easily and returned to walking around her block. She did not become a bodybuilder. She became steadier. That mattered more. Comment weak legs if you have felt that chair rise struggle, and let me know your age as well. Martha's story matters because muscle loss rarely starts with a dramatic collapse. It starts with tiny compromises. Research shows older adults often need more protein than younger adults to trigger the same muscle-building response. Some recent reviews suggest about 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight each day may support healthy aging, and more may be needed in frailty or sarcopenia under professional care. Here's what happens when dinner is mostly toast, soup, or sweets. Your body enters the night with too few amino acids, which are the building blocks of muscle. But here's the shocking part. Many seniors think eating less always protects health, when undereating can quietly speed weakness. Let me tell you about Robert. He is 79, a proud retired mechanic who always fixed things himself. His first symptom was not pain. It was dropping tools because his grip felt unreliable by late afternoon. Robert tried over-the-counter energy boosters and another cup of coffee after dinner. He slept worse, woke stiff, and blamed old age. Over the next year, he avoided yard work, then skipped social events because he felt drained. His world got smaller even though no one around him saw the full picture. His doctor reviewed his medicines and noticed long-term metformin use for diabetes and a proton pump inhibitor for reflux. Research shows both can reduce vitamin B12 absorption in some people. Testing found low B12. Robert started treatment and shifted his evening habits. After about 2 months, Robert reported stronger grip, better energy, and more confidence using stairs. He still paced himself, but he no longer felt like he was fading. Stay with me because the first big mistake that blocks repair may surprise you. The first thing to avoid is skimping on protein at dinner. Here's what happens when your last meal is tiny and low in protein. Overnight repair has fewer amino acids to work with, so rebuilding slows down. Research on pre-sleep protein suggests 20 to 40 grams before bed can increase overnight muscle protein synthesis, especially with resistance exercise. But here's the shocking part most people do not know. You do not need a fancy powder first. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, fish, beans, or tofu can help. I saw this pattern with Elaine, age 68. She ate a very light supper to be good, then woke hungry and weak. When she added protein to dinner, her morning energy improved within 2 weeks. The second thing to avoid is alcohol close to bedtime. Here's what happens when evening alcohol fragments sleep. You spend less time in the deep stages that support repair, balance, and hormone rhythm. It can also affect muscle protein balance and leave you more dehydrated by morning. For seniors, that can mean more cramps, more bathroom trips, and less stable walking the next day. The third thing to avoid is long hours of sitting without any muscle challenge. Muscles follow a use it or lose it rule. If they never get a signal to stay, your body becomes more willing to let them shrink. Even a strong nutrition plan cannot fully replace movement. The fourth thing to avoid is guessing with supplements while never checking deficiency risk. What they do not tell you is that timing and need matter. Taking random products may do little, while missing a real deficiency keeps the true problem going. Comment "I'm guilty" if you have been doing any of these. Don't worry, you're about to learn how to fix it. There is one more habit to avoid, and it hides in plain sight. It is the late-night dessert habit built around soda, pastries, or candy. Here's what happens when your evening meal turns into mostly sugar. Blood sugar swings can rise, hunger can return, and that meal still gives your muscles almost no building material. You may fall asleep full, yet wake up underfueled. I have heard many seniors say, "But I ate plenty." Yes, but your muscles needed protein, not just calories. The next one will surprise you because the best fix is often a boring meal that works. Now let's move into the solutions, and I want to count them down because the last two are the stars of today's title. Number 5 is an evening protein plan. Do you know what happens when you eat enough protein in the second half of the day? Amino acids enter your bloodstream and stay available while your body repairs tissue overnight. That gives your muscle cells materials to use while you rest. The benefits go beyond muscle size. Protein helps support strength, steadier blood sugar, fullness, and recovery after walking or exercise. Think of it as bringing bricks to a construction site before the workers arrive. Research shows pre-sleep protein can raise overnight muscle protein synthesis, and some studies found the response becomes even stronger when evening exercise comes first. In practice, aim for a real protein source at dinner, then a small extra serving if dinner was light. Many older adults tolerate yogurt, milk, kefir, eggs, tuna, soft tofu, or cottage cheese well. Expect early signs like less morning hunger and better recovery first, then stronger function over weeks. Number 4 is resistance work before your body clocks out. This can be simple. Sit to stands from a chair, wall push-ups, step-ups, or resistance band count. Here's what happens when you challenge muscle safely. Your body gets a message that those fibers are needed, so it becomes more willing to rebuild them later. This habit improves strength, balance, bone support, and confidence. It also helps direct protein toward useful repair. Reviews of sarcopenia prevention consistently place resistance exercise at the center because supplements alone are not enough. Even 10 to 20 minutes in the late afternoon can help if your clinician says it is safe. Let me tell you about Denise. She is 65 and said she felt old overnight after a winter of little movement. She feared her strength was gone for good. Instead of starting hard workouts, she began chair rises, band rows, and short walks after dinner. By week 3, Denise noticed she climbed stairs without pulling the rail as much. By week 8, she carried groceries again. Her progress was not flashy. It was life-changing. The next one will surprise you because it is not about your muscles first. It is about your sleep. Number 3 is protecting deep sleep with magnesium-rich evening habits, not miracle promises. Do you know what happens when sleep becomes lighter and more broken? The repair window gets shorter. Some research suggests magnesium may modestly improve sleep quality in older adults, especially when intake is low, though the evidence is not definitive. That means I do not want to oversell it. Still, foods like pumpkin seeds, almonds, beans, spinach, and yogurt can support overall nutrition. Better sleep may mean more consistent repair, fewer early awakenings, and calmer muscles. If a supplement is considered, many people discuss it with a clinician first, especially if they have kidney disease or take multiple medicines. Use dinner and evening snacks to support sleep, not sabotage it. Dim lights, cut late caffeine, and keep alcohol low. Expect a calmer bedtime routine before you expect stronger legs. Comment below which of these surprised you most so far. Number 2 is vitamin B12, especially if you have risk factors for low levels. Here's what happens when vitamin B12 runs low. Nerve signaling can suffer, red blood cell production can drop, and muscle quality may decline because tissues get weaker support. Research shows a 2021 study of 2,325 adults aged 70 to 84 found B12 insufficiency linked with lower muscle mass, even though it was not clearly tied to grip strength or overall performance. A 2024 study on older adults with subclinical deficiency also suggested that correcting low B12 may improve muscle function and muscle quality over 3 months. That does not mean everyone needs B12 pills tonight. It means low B12 deserves respect, especially in seniors with metformin use, acid-blocking drugs, poor appetite, or little animal food intake. Practical use matters. Vitamin B12 comes from foods like fish, eggs, dairy, and meat. Some people need fortified foods, high-dose oral supplements, nasal forms, or injections because absorption gets weaker with age. Work with your clinician on testing and the right form. Early wins may include better energy, steadier walking, and less tingling if deficiency was part of the picture. Before I reveal the number 1 solution, which of these surprised you most? Comment below. Let me tell you about Harold. He is 83, and his family worried because he started shuffling and avoiding long walks. He blamed weather, shoes, and bad luck. Deep down, he feared he was losing himself. Harold ate little meat, took acid blockers for years, and often skipped breakfast. His clinician checked his vitamin B12 and found it low. He began treatment, added more protein, and did gentle calf raises at his kitchen counter. Over the next 10 weeks, Harold walked farther without stopping and felt steadier getting into the car. His daughter said he looked brighter. He said he felt more like himself again. Stay with me because the number 1 solution is the one most people hear about but often misunderstand. Number 1 is vitamin D, but only with honesty about what it can and cannot do. Here's what happens when vitamin D is too low. Muscle cells may not respond as well to repair signals, balance can worsen, and overall function may slip. Research shows nearly 20% of middle-aged and older adults in the United States are vitamin D deficient, and older skin makes less vitamin D from sunlight over time. Vitamin D can support muscle function, but studies show mixed results, especially when people already have normal levels. That is why I will not call it a magic bullet. Still, research reviews suggest deficiency is a real risk factor for weakness and sarcopenia, and many experts recommend correcting low levels, not megadosing blindly. The practical approach is simple. Ask your clinician whether testing makes sense, especially if you spend little time outdoors, have osteoporosis, darker skin, malabsorption, or freak weakness. Foods like salmon, sardines, egg yolks, and fortified dairy can help. The NIH lists 800 IU daily as the recommended amount for adults over 70, while 4,000 IU is the tolerable upper limit for most adults unless a clinician advises otherwise. Let me tell you about Gloria. She is 74 and stopped gardening because getting up from the ground felt impossible. She thought rest would fix it. Rest made her weaker. Her lab work showed vitamin D deficiency, and her meals were low in both protein and calcium-rich foods. She began treatment through her doctor, walked outside safely when weather allowed, and added salmon, yogurt, and simple leg exercises. After 2 months, Gloria returned to her flower beds with a small stool for support. She still moved carefully, but she no longer felt trapped by weakness. Research-backed steps gave her hope, and hope turned into action. Here is what makes this powerful. These solutions work together. Protein supplies the building blocks. Resistance exercise tells your body to use them. Better sleep protects the repair window. Vitamin B12 supports nerves and oxygen-carrying cells when low. Vitamin D supports muscle function best when deficiency is corrected. A simple breakfast could be Greek yogurt, berries, and pumpkin seeds. A practical lunch could be eggs, beans, and greens. A strong dinner could be salmon, potatoes, and vegetables, followed by a protein-rich snack if needed. That combination supports strength from more than one angle. Now, this is important. You do not need a perfect routine to start winning. You need a repeatable one. A simple evening could look like this: a balanced dinner, 10 minutes of safe strength work, lights down an hour before bed, and a short note about how you feel in the morning. Comment routine if you want me to make a full video on a 7-day muscle support plan for seniors. One more reminder before we close. Progress usually shows up as better function before bigger muscles. Studies found many older adults first notice easier chair rises, longer walks, steadier balance, and less fear of falling. That is real progress. Do not ignore it. If you want, comment stronger mornings and tell me which small win you want first. Comment below if you want grocery ideas. Please remember the warnings. Always consult your healthcare provider if you have kidney disease, nerve disease, unexplained weight loss, severe fatigue, or repeated falls. Talk with your clinician before starting supplements if you take metformin, acid blockers, steroids, statins, or thiazide diuretics, or if you have high calcium problems. Seek help quickly if weakness comes on suddenly, affects one side, or comes with chest pain, shortness of breath, black stools, or confusion. This video supports medical care. It does not replace it. You do not have to accept weaker mornings as an automatic part of aging. Muscle loss can be common, but that does not make it harmless or untouchable. Tonight, remember the basics. Avoid the habits that block repair. Feed your muscles with protein. Protect your sleep. Check whether vitamin B12 or vitamin D deficiency may be part of your story. Comment one of 3 things. I need better dinners, I need to ask about B12, or I need to check vitamin D. Subscribe if you want more research-based senior health videos that turn medical studies into plain English steps. In the next video, I'll show you the bedtime foods that can quietly worsen leg cramps and balance after 60. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs this information. You might save their life.